What's up, everybody? Welcome to Blade Talk. Sorry, I know we have a packed room here, but we had some technical difficulties on the side. But really, the truth is, we just kind of BSing and kind of lost track of time. But we got everybody in the room. We're waiting for Jared to come in. He's having some technical issues, but he'll jump in when he's ready. We got JB in the waiting room. We got good old Scabo, of course. But so welcome everybody to Blade Talk. Very excited about this one. We got a lot of cool things that we're doing on this live. Some giveaways a little bit later. We're going to talk about the story behind the knife. That's actually the theme of this show, and I've been working on this for a couple of weeks, and we finally hit the ground, and it's happening. So we just had a lot of submissions come in, and just trying to get things organized and getting everybody's story straight. So I'm very excited about bringing this in, but as we do with all our shows on my channel at Steel Forge and Fire Sword Knife, on Scab's channel at ChoirBoyz Cutlery Outdoors, support to our vets, hashtag 22 a day no more is what I'm calling it. Awareness to our vets, 22 veterans a day take their own lives. So we're just trying to grow awareness and bring that number down to 0. So vets, is a place for you here. We love you and we appreciate all that you've done for this country. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my partner in, Mr. Scab. So here he comes. Hello, Scabo.
Hey, what's going on, man? Hello, everybody in the room. Looks like we got a full house. Appreciate y'all being patient with us. I really, really appreciate that. Well, we got an interesting guest, Joe. You want to bring him on?
Let's do it.
Without any further ado, may I present Mr. JB, Big Red, EDC, Standing Oak. Brother, JB, thank you for joining us.
Here. And actually, just on cue, wait, he's putting his headsets on. I see him getting ready to go here. There he is. He's got the thumbs up. All right, he gave you a thumbs up. So here we go with...
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
Sorry about all this. I had some technical difficulties. I'm using a new camera, and it's I couldn't get it to go over on StreamYard. I had to call somebody else that knows a little bit more than me.
You only do a live like every day, though.
I do, but I just bought a new camera.
Which camera is it? We got to talk about your camera situations today.
A Canon Rebel L or SL3.
Oh, you got the Rebel. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, man, I got a huge echo. Am I echoing on your end?
No echo.
No echo. I mean, I can deal with it. Does that
How we sound in chat room? We're all okay. Everybody sounds good. You hear everybody fine?
Yo, whatever. I can deal with an echo. But yeah, I got this new camera, so I'm trying to use it since I have it now, but I've never used a camera. I've always used my phone, so it's been a struggle I haven't uploaded any videos yet, but I've been practicing on the editing and everything. I'm hoping by Monday I'll be able to upload something that I edited from the camera. I've only done one live stream so far with the camera. I literally just got it. But
what about you, JB?
I'm sorry, Scab?
JB, what do you use, phone or camera?
Right now it's just my laptop.
Okay.
But for my videos, I use my phone.
You've been hanging out with Joe too long, for the love of God, man. See, that's what I do. So, Jared, you just made a switch to you're going to the camera now.
Yeah. I've used the phone the entire time. I actually, my last phone, I wore the camera out. It started going bad. and I didn't personally notice it right away. People on Instagram started noticing it and sent me some messages saying, "Hey man, I think your camera's going bad." And then I went through my posts and I was like, "Oh wow, it definitely is." And I started noticing it a little bit in the videos, and it just continued to get worse and worse and worse. And then by my last post, it was do or die. I had to get a new one. So I went and sought out the best camera on a phone, which was the Android SR21 Ultra. And then that's what I've been using for the past few months.
Okay.
No, there's nothing like doing reviews. Listen, you know what I do. I mean, I'm a cinematographer, so I got to use my cameras for everything. I happen to be using the webcam. I actually was waiting for Amazon to get me a wire so I could hook this up to my computer, but it never came in, so I'm using my webcam, which is fine.
He'll bitch about it the whole show.
I'm finally starting to come up where I guess come up, but trying to learn where I can start doing that as well. Cause I'd love to be able to do everything. Because think about it. I do all my editing on a phone, everything, every dime of it. So, and I do a lot of videos. So man, it's tough doing everything on a phone. And I know not only will it be more efficient, but I'll be a lot more productive in a day if I can do it on the laptop instead of on the phone.
Of course.
I
Absolutely.
like my phone. I'm kind of
I
a
try-
technological idiot, so
I try to keep
I'm
away
gonna have
from
to
using
make
my
the jump
phone.
at some point. I got to make the jump at some point, but I think I get a little lazy. It's just easy with the phone. You can bang it out, you can go, but at some point, I think everybody has to make that jump.
Well, that's where I've been. I was stuck in that.
laptop.
That's where I've been. I was stuck being comfortable because I knew it. So, because it took me, the thing was when I started from scratch. I didn't know the first thing about editing, recording, or anything. So, learning how to edit on the phone, it was great for me because after I learned that, that was just like a huge step in itself. So then I got stuck in that, and it's like I don't want to learn anything else. It took me so long to figure this out. So, and then now I'm to the point where it's like, okay, I've maximized that. Now I do need to upgrade, and I like to try to upgrade every year something, whether it's the studio, the audio, visuals, whatever.
That's a good progression. JB, you do a lot. Both of you guys do a lot of lives, a lot of reviews. Do you do the same thing, or do you mix it up, JB?
As far as what I use,
Yeah.
For all my videos, I use my phone. It's an S20. I use my phone, and then I use for the live streams. I was using a webcam when I was doing tabletop, but since I started doing these, I've just been using the laptop. I need to get a better webcam for my live streams, but I don't think, as far as right now, I'm still using my phone for my videos and stuff like that.
I was using a webcam for my live, so I bought a gamer's cam or something, just something simple, but that's all it was used for, was only lives. Especially moving into StreamYard.
The StreamYard is pretty good. I'm an idiot, and I can use it. So it's idiot approved, believe me.
Yeah, it's definitely a great system for people, like us that want to be able to go live and do it very professionally. And I only have the base package or whatever it is, like $12 a month or whatever. And it gives you so many options. I can't think of that. I would need anything else.
Yeah, I think I got the base, the first, is that the first tier or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah, the first tier.
Pretty much gives you everything you need. So.
Well, guys,
Live's fast.
Casey's
What's
here.
up, bud?
Good seeing you, brother.
Yeah, shout out to the chat.
Oh, we got nice
I see all you guys.
Cool.
Yeah,
let's do this. Joe, why don't you bring up the topic, kind of lay out the rules or the groundwork of what we're going to do. Okay. We got the two experts here. We've got a room full, and I do want to do a quick shout out to Bricks and Balla Songs. He's a young man getting started. Make sure I got that right. Yeah, Bricks and Balla Songs. Young kid, very knowledgeable, does a good job. Shout out to him. Go check him out. But fellas, thank y'all. And JB, thank you just for being a community guy. Seriously, dude, you're awesome. And Jared, I haven't talked to you since you've done the video for the 22 a day. And I just want to personally thank you for doing that, man. It meant a lot to me and the cause. It was a great video. So, and I want to say that personally and publicly, thank you for doing that. That meant a lot.
No problem,
man. So, Joseph,
my honor.
No, just reading Yakalope. All right, so we got two moderators in the room. We got Tina and we got Yakalope. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tina, for moderating the live. So basically, this actually came about from the idea of doing this whole story behind the knife came about from Keith Carpenter. He's on Instagram. Great guy, great supporter, pretty much all of our channels. And if you can follow him on Instagram, he's got some great visuals. He's hiking. It's just beautiful pictures, beautiful stuff. But Keith actually gave me the idea because what happened was I reviewed my Cold Steel Recon 1 at one point. I don't know if I put it on Instagram or something like that. And I had said that, you guys ever had a knife where kind of you got it and then you kind of put it on the side and didn't see it for a while, and then you kind of just caught it in the corner of your eye and like, wow, I really love this knife. And you get kind of reacquainted with it. So then I just kind of put that knife out there again. And then he came in and started messaging me with Instagram and all that, and he gave me a whole story of everything that he put this knife through. So I'm like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen anybody use a knife as much as he uses Recon One. So I says, you know what? I think that's a great idea, because we all have certain knives that we rely on. We work with them, we hike with them, we do bushcrafting with them. And there's a story behind it, what you put it through, what you feel about it, what you do with it in your pocket, and how you rely on it. And I figured, let's make up some kind of a blade talk, and we'll have people share stories of what their story is behind a specific knife, that they may have. Or in the situation with Jared, in the 150 knives that he may have. Okay? Just so you know, I asked Jared, I said, listen, Jared, do me a favor. This is the theme of the show. Get me like a knife or two that you want to kind of present. He goes, can I send you 150? I said, no. So, but he sent me about 25. I have a folder of 25 knives. It's like freaking knife heaven in there. Okay.
We have a little bit of a running joke on my channel, because people will come into the chat and be like, hey, what's your favorite knife? And I always not seriously get mad, but I act like I get mad. Like, don't ever ask me that question. Like, you can ask me what my top 20 is, maybe, but my best, like the favorite, like, come on, favorite for what? Like, give me some backstory there.
These have a mic.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, because I was talking to Meg a little bit about it. And well, then it's job specific.
Can hear you through this one.
But let me ask you this.
I don't know if I can.
Maybe I'll start with you.
Okay.
Just a favorite. Just, it doesn't have to be expensive. It's just a favorite. It's comfortable. You love it. It doesn't have to be a go-to, but just a knife that you love, that will not let you down. What would you pick up?
Oh, I mean, wow! I mean, right up
JB, you want to bring up some of those knives?
I mean, are we talking the ones I sent you, or are we just talking about knives in general?
No, a knife that you like.
I won't close it.
Your personal. Like, I'll give you an example. Anybody that knows me or knows the channel, of course, I ain't can find the damn thing, but anybody that knows me knows that if I had to have a go-to knife, and I've got all kinds, but it's probably going to be the Rajah too, whether it's work, whether it's woods. I'm talking about a knife that not your subscribers, and if it is a high-end knife, like I got the Medford over here, that's cool.
You cannot.
Don't worry about it. A knife that y'all just, you just love it. It doesn't have it doesn't have to be your favorite, but it can be a favorite. That might be the better way to narrow it down.
Well, that's my favorite knife for work right there.
Okay.
That knife doesn't get any love, doesn't get any glitz and glamour, but it goes to work with me every day, and it never lets me down. It's just a little Camilla sailor knife. Got it right here. And that is my go-to work knife. And to be perfectly honest, I use the blade. I mean, I probably use the blade more than I use the Marlin spike, but that Marlin spike makes a heck of a shackle key, and I use that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot at work.
Yeah.
Rigging cranes and stuff like that.
Yeah. The Marlin spike, once I figured out what it wasn't to hook Marlin with, off my Billy Watt demo, I love it. But Jared, I'll go to you. Same question. And again,
wait, hold on. You got this one too, though, JB.
I get that. But if you just had that, you're on the fly, you're going, you've got a bunch of shit to do. What are you carrying? What's one that you're gonna pick up that won't fail you?
Well,
that it won't fail you.
I do have like 100, but
right.
But one I know that I do like a lot, and I do use quite a bit. It has a great blade shape, great geometry. I think it's plenty tough because I always carry by the way. I always carry two. I usually carry a full size and a smaller knife in my EDC organizer. But you can go to the Shadow, which is the one we're going to talk about right now.
Tell me where to stop.
The TRM Shadow. I think I sent you pictures of that one. I'm pretty sure I did. If I didn't, I'm an idiot. Right there.
Now, TRM, I like
that
Adam.
Yeah, it's a great knife. It's very reliable. TRMs their blade stock thickness is really thin, but the edge isn't dramatically thin. So it still has a tough edge, but it slices so good. And I like to think this knife is kind of an upgraded version of like the Benchmade Griptilian or the Ritter Hogue, something like that, where it's a little bit better in, I guess in every way, shape, and form. In my opinion, it's 20 CEV, it's G10, but it's super solid, and it's an access lock that I've never gotten any play out of at all. Still super smooth. And TRM does a really good job with their heat treats, so that's another thing I was really impressed with.
I've only gotten to mess with one, and I think it was the Atom, but it was incredibly comfortable. Felt good in hand. The same.
This one, since the Atom, the one thing with the Atom is they're very thin in the hand. Okay. This is slim, but yet it's contoured, so it's a completely different feeling in the hand. It actually, you can get a really good squeeze on it without it hurting your hand. The Atom and the Neutron, they're really thin. They're more for light duty. This is more of like their harder use knife, where you could actually squeeze it and it's still going to be very comfortable. If you did have to use it long term, it's perfectly comfortable all day.
Now, have either one of you guys, JB or Jared, have you guys had any exposure with the Hogue, the RSK, the Ritter?
Yeah. And that's like another one that I think this one's a little bit better as. If you really like those knives, the Griptilian and the Ritter Hogue, you would love this. To me, it's just like a better version.
Is that your carry pouch?
That small one. What's that?
Is that your carry pouch?
Yeah, that's what I carry every day. I carry I get basically like a 3-inch knife, 3-inch blade in the knife part, or like a multi-tool, a pen, and then a flashlight. And I actually have Tale of Knives on the way right now, a brand new one, USA made. So I'm really excited about that. Shout out to Talica he bought it for me for my birthday, so it should be here any day now.
Yeah, the RSK, the mini one, and I think Joe, you actually have that with you. I love the big Ritter, but the smaller one just had an appeal. It just had an appeal to me, which again, I usually do the bigger stuff. Now, the longer that I've done this, the more that I've used the knives and the skill set's gone up, the smaller knives, thinner blades have started to appeal to me for the finer work and things like that. But I like those.
So that one right there is the Tucson TS223. I actually have it in my hand right now. I have two of them. I have one in M390 and one in 14C28N. Super solid build. And what's great about it is it's a tough knife while being slicey. It's nice and thin behind the edge, but it's a full flat. So, I mean, this thing cuts so good. And the ergos, because they're so comfortable, that's kind of a benefit to if you're going to be using a knife long term or a little bit harder. If you can be comfortable in the grip, then you're going to, feel like you're cutting even better than you possibly are with the geometry of the blade. So this thing is so comfortable, you can use it all day, and the blade shape's great. The grind is amazing. Just everything about it, even like sharpening it, super easy because of the way they did the choil and everything. And it is extremely well built. And these things are like, you can get these for like $130 or less, even for the M390.
Really?
Yep. Titanium, steel lock bar insert, carbon fiber. The titanium has micro milling on it. There's weight relief. It's got all the bells and whistles that you would expect.
What size is the blade?
3.5.
Perfect.
8 inches.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It's got internal stop pins. Super, super solid. I've had 3 altogether, and all of them have been perfect.
That's
Now,
fine.
JB, do you, Jared said he carries 2 knives. How many knives do you carry, JB?
Usually 2, sometimes 3. I'll carry this. Well, actually, any more than 3 since I've got this little thing in my 5th pocket all the time. But I'll usually carry a larger knife. I'll usually carry a, like a 3 to 3.5. That usually works out best for me for what I do at work. And then I'll carry a smaller knife. We're always rotating through, and then like I said, I'll always have this guy with me at work. Just because there's stuff we do at work that I need a knife that I'm not going to use. Like if somebody sends me a knife to check out or whatever, I'm not going to use their knife for that.
Right.
I'm not going to. That's, I try to treat people's knives well. So that I always have that one on me. So generally 3, sometimes 4, depending on what I'm doing and what I'm reviewing and all that,
I always try to carry 1. If I'm reviewing a knife, now starting with the sandblast, and that's really kind of jacked me up because there's no knife that's going to withstand that.
Right.
And it's foolish. It's just not. So what I've started doing is I carry that Nomad EDC from Work Tough Gear. Mm-hmm. It's a 3.5-inch blade, I believe, but I put it in my pocket. Here it is. This goes in my pocket. And it's just not even. Here's the 4max, just to give you a size comparison. But now, this kind of plays into what Jared was talking about, comfort in hand. It's an unusual blade, but for me, the comfort level. Now, I'd prefer, honestly, guys, to carry a folder. But when you sandblast and powder coating every day, I'm not going to jack up a 3, 4. I'm not going to jack up a $100 knife.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. And all this crap about, it's got to, okay, take yours to the beach, throw it in the sand, and when you leave, pick it up and take it with you. Let me know how that plays out for you.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we lose we get so locked in, and I say we, but a lot of times in the community, people get locked into these insane scenarios. It's got to be able to, one guy was like, why don't you ever stab a stump and bend the knife sideways? Why don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
What work do you do? Well, what survival? So if you wreck your truck, you're falling down a mountain in your underwear and a knife, you got to stab it in the stump and it's got to hold you. Odds are, Hoss, you're a dead man walking.
I remember I heard somebody a while back say they were kind of talking about people like wanting to see you baton. He was like, why? He's like, if I was out in the woods, he's like, I would never baton anything. He's like, I would find smaller sticks, pick them up, put them together. He's like, why would I ever take a big stick and cut it into pieces? I would just find smaller sticks. It was like, of course you would. You almost never find yourself batoning. Maybe you take one small stick, which any knife could handle, even a slip joint, and break it up into kindling. But you're not taking dense logs and batoning them into smaller pieces. You're finding small sticks to build a fire with.
Yeah, but batoning is fun.
Yeah, of course it's fun.
Well,
yeah, of course.
Here's the other thing with batoning. It gets views.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know what I use it for, Jared, to be honest with you, like in the demonstration, a lot of time I'll use the batoning to test the lock or to test the edge.
That's what it's about.
Right. Does the edge hold up? Does it roll? Does it chip? Does it ding? Things like that. So
no, I agree with doing it. Like it definitely helps test, because if it can.
No, but you're right. It's the common sense part of it.
Yeah. Demko said that in order for a knife to baton efficiently, it has to be the lock strength. It has to be able to hold 100 pounds. So I think that's a good way to look at it too. Like if you think
he makes knives. If you stab a rhinoceros, you can pick it up and the lock will fail. So he's good there. He's all right.
Gotta have respect for that.
So here's probably my most important question, guys, for all three of you. I know what Joe's is, but you're at the house, you're sharpening, you're playing with a knife, you're doing whatever you're doing. What's on the radio? JB, you first.
Oh, 80s hair metal.
Rock on. Love it.
Always.
All
always.
day.
Pretty much,
Jared?
yeah.
What was the question?
If you're at home doing, you're sharpening, you're getting set up for the day, what's on the radio? What are you listening to?
Music.
What's on the radio? Oh, I listen to everything. There's pretty much nothing I don't listen to. I can go from oldies to rock to. I don't really listen to modern country, but I would listen to like old country, rap. I literally listen to everything.
You're a young guy though, Jared. How old are you?
35. Well,
you're
36 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
you.
buddy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
I
it.
think me and JB are the old guys in the room.
I'm almost up to you, Scabby. You got 2 years on me. Almost.
I listen to the Bee Gees. I love the Bee Gees. Listen to them all the time. Big fan. Joe, what about you?
I'm
I
like
really
Jared.
do.
I
I
like
think I
everything,
did.
but particularly the era, I like the 80s. I like the 80s, and I like my Pink Floyd, and I like Rush, and I like all of the good old bands. That's what I like.
Now, when I drank, I'd listen to old country, get drunk, stab people. So I had to quit doing that. Listen to a lot of Johnny Cash or Waylon and Willie. But no, again, thank you guys for being on. And we want to get to the story behind the knife. So
Yeah, I have a couple
JB,
people.
you said the one you've taken with you. That's the one you take to work. Jared showed a couple. What's the knife that started this whole mess, this whole passion for you? Jared, we'll go with you first. We'll let JB think about it a minute. What's the knife where you're like,
Well, I
this is
grew
what I
up with
want to
knives.
do?
My dad handed me a knife when I was 5, and I never not carried a knife since. Like, ever since I was a little kid. The first knife I was given was way bigger than a knife I probably should have had, but that's how my old man was. So I've always been into knives, and then he was a collector too. So we kind of developed a collection together, and so that's how I've always been into it. But for like pocket knives, I got back into collecting, and I had bought the Kershaw Leak, but right before that, I had another Kershaw that just blew me away. And I wound up buying it like 3 or 4 times. I was doing construction, so it seemed like every time I was on the job with it, it either got stolen or lost. So I always bought a new one. So when I got back into collecting, I went to look for some more Kershaws, and that one was discontinued. You couldn't find it. And I seen the Kershaw Leak. And the Kershaw Leak, the same exact thing happened with the Kershaw Leak. I mean, I was cutting drywall with it. I was doing everything with it. And that just kind of just spiraled till now, and that's actually how I found the knife community, was because I had that, and I started looking into other knives to get. I found Jim Skelton, Shabazz, and everybody else, and here we are.
And you're rocking and rolling. You've done really well, man.
Thank
I
you.
was telling JB earlier, I watch a lot of your videos. I don't comment a lot. I try to be, you have to be careful in some ways, but you're rocking and rolling, and JB's coming on strong. JB, what is it for you, man? I think the truth is this. I've known a guy or two who's picked up a knife in their teen years or maybe their early 20s, and they're like, bam. But I think for most of us, we grew up with knives, whether it was a passion for a sword, like with Joe, or a pocket knife. I grew up in Hazelhurst, Georgia. I mean, you had a pocket knife on you. What was it for you, JB?
The first knife I ever had was a Wegener Camper Swiss Army knife. That was the one. I found it. It was beat to all heck. I just found it walking down the road one day, and I continued to beat the heck out of it because I was 12 and didn't know how to treat a knife. Well, I mean, I knew how to treat a knife, but I didn't follow the rules, as always. And, I had that one for quite a while. And then I had the Buck 110 and the 112. Those were my first real knives. I mean, out in the country, they're solid. They'll do what you need to do.
Those 110s are just.
Well, Isaac the Noob, we got a story behind his Buck 110, which I'll get to with the rest of them too. Definitely.
The 110s are just legendary, man.
You can.
I mean, they just are.
You can skin a rabbit. You can clean a fish. You can
chop the tree down.
You can do anything. You can do anything you want to with it.
Those
Shamefully,
buck
I don't have a
110s,
buck
they're
110
just-
yet.
You don't have one, Joe?
Not yet. I have a couple of
will.
bucks. I don't have the 110 though.
Yeah, I don't have a 110 either. I have one here,
Really?
but it's not mine. But I've had 110s before. I've had many of
JB
them growing up.
is. I got
I
mine
had one
some.
when I was a kid. I think one of the
and
first
it's
knives I was
classic,
able to play
dude.
with was a 110.
Yeah.
But then
Mine
it was
was
taken
a-
away from me.
My first one wasn't the buck 110, but it was like identical to it, just like 2 sizes bigger. Like when I was like
That's
5 years old. That's what my
beautiful.
dad handed to me. It was massive, but it was the same thing like the buck 110, just bigger.
Blackie Thomas actually just did a video. I've really gotten into Blackie. He makes a lot of sense to me on the bushcraft side, but he just did one on the 110. I have 2. Well, I gave my son one. He just turned 30, or he's turning 30 this year. My grandfather always carried either an old timer. What was the progression? It was old timer, and then it was old timer Schrade.
I
there
got
was
one of
Uncle
those
Henry,
still.
But I've got 2. Actually, my grandfather only bought old timers, so
Mhm.
I've got 3. But they're that same style. They're that 110 style. That lock back. They're heavy. They're robust. They're carbon. Now his are carbon steel. I know my buck 110 Isaac gave me is 420. Right? Am I saying that right? 420.
Yeah, 420 HC.
Yeah.
I actually
always
still
think
have one. I
that's-
have one from like 1990 still. So
Dude,
it's still
those
brand
things,
new.
I mean, if nothing else, you can throw it through somebody's window, son.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure.
Hey, growing up in the South, I know a lot of boys that put them in their hands, and it's just like having a roll of quarters or a
Fist pack.
or
Yeah.
knuckles, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm not encouraging that. So, and Pete Morrissey said the Bee Gees grew up in his house. Listen, y'all think I'm kidding? Too much heaven? I'll start crying. Hit the bars. It's over, son. Joe, get us into this thing. Now, Joe started out with sword, and that's something, and to everybody in the chat, thank y'all for being here. And we do have some sword guys coming on. But Joe's kind of getting into the knife thing, and we're kind of not turning, because to me, if you like blades, you like blades. I got swords. I love blades. But Joe, what's your go-to? I think I know, but what's kind of your go-to in all of this? What's the one you're like, Scab, I'm headed out the door. Just say you're headed out the door and you just got a day full of stuff. What are you carrying?
I got 3 of them right now. One of my favorites right now, I just enjoy carrying so much, is the Rapid Fire from Off Grid, the Rapid Fire Coyote. I just love this handle. I mean, it's such a great blade. I like big blades. I like comfortable handles, and it's a deep carry. You know, it's just a really amazing blade. Great cutter. It's just sharp as hell out of the box. Yeah, definitely Off Grid. I do really, my personal favorite is definitely got to be the SE Avispa.
Mm-hmm.
Again, ultra comfortable handle. Okay, it's definitely something that's pretty much always 90% of the time. This is in my pocket, and then I love my Buck Vantage.
I like that. I like the looks of that.
Very attractive knife. Really comfortable carry. So I would say that these 3 are my 3 go to pretty much all the time.
I like that.
Along with my cold steels. You know, I love my cold steels, Scab. I got started with cold steel. And honestly, I got started really getting into knives for the first time, really only about a year and a half ago.
What was your first cold steel? Sorry.
My first cold steel was the AD10.
Okay. A beast.
AD10. Yeah. I like handles. I'm into comfortable handles.
Yeah.
And I just if it's not comfortable in my hand,
right,
it's not I need to know it's in my pocket. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, if I need to know the knife is in my pocket. You know, I like small knives sometimes, but you know, Rusty just actually gave me the Atom to do a review on, which I'm really digging this knife.
Yeah.
3 Rivers. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. So
Rusty don't have a bad knife.
You would love the Shadow. If you like that one,
I love that.
Because the one difference is this one's super comfortable in the hand, like we were just saying. Right. And I'm the same way. I think it has a lot to do with your cutting performance, because, and especially like with the geometry of the blade. there's so many companies that I think are doing it wrong, where they put a really thick blade on a little tiny handle that if you tried to push that through something dense, it's painful. So it's like, if you can do a thick blade, but you better do a comfortable handle then, so that I can have the leverage to push it through stuff and actually use it. But I mean, I'd love to have a really slicey blade with the comfortable handle. That's even better, you know. So I know exactly what you mean about, you know, having a nice, good grip.
I think, and everybody knows I love cold steel, but I love cold steel for the same reason, man. It's the hand. It's like, it looks goofy, and people. Isaac the Noob said this, and I stole a quote from him. If you like a knife enough, you'll make it practical. Okay. Most people that there are certain places you can't carry that, and I understand that. But I've used this knife so much at this point, and the Billy Watt demo, that I got DJ's going to anodize the handles. But I've used this so much, it's like an extension of my hand, and I almost have to be careful. And I was going to ask y'all, if y'all find this, do you ever find a knife that it's every day, bam, bam, almost to where you neglect your other collection, or do you keep a pretty good rotation?
Trying to review, I try to keep a pretty good rotation, you know, just because of what I'm trying to do with the channel. But I mean, if I just run out of the house and grab a knife real quick, I'll grab a bug out or something that it's just, I mean, the bug out's still probably one of my favorite EDC knives. It's light, it's easy, it's deep carry, it goes anywhere I want it to go. But I try to keep a good rotation just because of, you know, reviews and all that good stuff.
Now, you're a big PM2 fan, right? Or I see it in a lot of your videos. You use it for a lot of comparisons.
I use the PM2 for my size comparison, because it's probably one of the most, you know, widely recognized knives out there. And is it a good knife? Absolutely. It took me a while to get on the Spyderco train, though, to be perfectly honest with you.
Me too.
I still can't get on the Spyderco train. I just can't do it.
And I mean,
took me a long time.
They get good knives. Now, you know, we found recently that, you know, Spyderco can make mistakes as well, just like everybody else can. But, you know, they're good knives. They work. They do what they need to do. And as far as I'm concerned, if a knife does what it's supposed to do, then it's all right by me. Now, some do it better, obviously, but
the Manix and the Manix XL, I think, are a great option because the lock is super strong. It's pretty innovative too. You don't see other locks like this. I mean, it's similar to the Axis lock, but it's not. It's completely different. But very good knife, and you can get it in so many different blade steels. But it took me a long time to jump on the Spyderco train. The Gail Bradley is one I really, really love, but I also hate in the same breath because I love how comfortable it is. I love how slicey it is. Love the blade shape, but I cannot stand its detent. It's like it's non-existent, the detent. So, but the blade shape, the grind, like this is like my style. Like I love this shape, you know, a spear point blade with a hollow grind, neutral ergos, you know, perfect thickness, very comfortable, but it just drives me nuts that it does not have a detent. Like it's so like spongy.
All right, Jared, explain something to me. Sorry to interrupt you, but while you and JB are here, and I had told JB earlier, and I've said this before, I'm gonna try to get up with DJ Horn. He lives up in Georgia. He's an OEM, worked for Southern Grind, several companies, to up my base knowledge. Explain to me why the detent matters. And this is a learning thing for me.
Well, this is why. So you can flick it, so you can get it open fast. So I like even if I have a thumb stud, I want it to pop. I don't want it to go wah 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 wah. You know, I want it to snap open. I want it to, and you know, to some effect, like it is just, you know, a satisfaction, right? Like, of course I could just slow roll it open, right? Of course I could, but I do get some enjoyment out of getting it out fast. And, you know, I've said this a lot in a lot of my videos, you know, like when I'm working, right? When I'm working, there's something to me being able to hold something, get my knife out fast, make my cut, get it back in my pocket, get my hand back into action, or at the very least, get it out and then continue using this hand with the knife still in my hands. Now I can grab the thing and move it. Now I might have to pop it back out, cut this, get it back out of the way. But that comes with good action. Like if I have to put my, because what winds up happening otherwise is you take it, you open it up, like say a buck 110 or something. You're going to open it up, make your cut, and then you're going to set it down.
Yeah.
You're going to set it down to finish what you're doing. And that's how I've lost a lot of knives. That's how I've gotten a lot of knives stolen off the job site. And if I'm up in a tree or up on a ladder or something, you know, I'm going to have to shove it in my work pouch with the blade up or something, like, you know, because you never know what you're doing. I've worked with my hands my whole life in construction. So I couldn't tell you how many times I've used a knife and couldn't use both hands.
So again, this is a learning, and this goes to both you and JB, because I hear you both discussing it. So detent isn't just the knife closing, it's the knife opening.
Yeah, opening and closing.
Correctly?
Yep.
So your detents would also help keep the blade safe,
closed,
handle as well. If you've got a light detent,
it'll just fly. Yeah,
like knife, and
like
it
that.
could, you know, wave open on you without you wanting it to, and end up cutting things you don't want to cut.
Yes.
Right.
Have you played with this
yourself.
banter, Jared? Have you ever played with this Wee knife, the banter?
Oh yeah. I got a couple of the baby banters actually. I've had that
amazing.
one, but I don't
This
have
is really good. I like it.
It is really good.
This
Nice
is also from
detent
rugby.
on it.
Yes, that's what I noticed. That's what I'm bringing this up. It's for that reason. It's really fantastic.
See, that's a lot of times when I do, and Jared, JB both, I've just stopped calling them reviews or testing, because nothing I do is scientific. I do have to try to have a purpose for the test. But one of the things I do is try to open. A big thing for me with a folder is opening and closing one-handed. And so in a lot of my videos, you'll see me open and close one-handed.
Mm-hmm.
But it was my understanding, and this is where I have to get better and bring in more knowledge, is I always thought the detent was the knife closing. But the
detent ball. Okay, so you have the detent ball. The detent ball is on the lock bar. So right now it's holding it closed. That detent ball is on the lock bar, and there's a hole in the blade. And that detent ball, half of it is sticking out of the titanium lock bar. And right now, while it's closed, that other half is stuck inside the blade, keeping it closed. Now, what you're doing is you're creating enough force to pop that ball out of that hole. And that's that tension you get when you go to flip it. That's that resistance that it's giving you. Okay. And then once you break it, that's what makes it fly. Now, when you unlock it, and once you get it up on the lock bar, now the detent ball is what is riding on the blade. So depending on the tension of the lock bar and you know, the bearings, whether the washers or bearings, whatever, tolerances, that will depend on whether or not it smoothly drops. But a lot of that is the actual pressure of the lock bar. Okay. That's why, like with Spyderco's, you can unlock it and they'll just free fall, even though they're washers. Why? Well, because they don't have a lock bar putting pressure on the blade as it's falling. So that's why they can just free fall, even with washers. So it's a multifunction for sure, a detent.
Well, I appreciate you both. I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million more. I'm a novice at best when it comes to this. Now cutting and using, I can use a knife. I use one for work every day. But these are the things, so I appreciate you taking the time. Because like I said, I had a guy ask me on my Billy Watt demo, he said, man, I heard the detent was weak. And in some cases it is, but it's not going to fly open on you. So that's kind of where that was my go-to there. So I appreciate y'all answering that.
Yeah. But that is a thing too, though, with a weak detent. And I mean, when I say weak detent, I mean either the detent ball is very small, or the lock bar strength isn't very good, or the hole where the detent ball falls into is really small for the ball that they have. What'll happen is you'll jump out of the back of a truck, and that sucker will come open in your pocket like that. Yeah, you'll wind up stabbing yourself in places you don't want to. You know, so.
Well, that's what happened. I bought a Spyderco Akuchi, and I like to fidget, and there's a lot of reasons for that. but for whatever reason, I was playing with it and a fidget. It went straight up there and stabbed me right in the stomach. I gave it away about 5 seconds later. But I like the compression locks on Spyderco's. I really, really do. But I like the fidgety stuff too. I like the Axis lock. I like the lock on the Hogue Ritter stuff. Those are always fun. Yeah, Rusty, it does.
Yeah, I definitely find myself wanting that balance because I don't, and this is where I'll give some knives negative reviews because I'll get a knife that the action is just incredible, right? But the blade with the ergos, the geometry, the steel put together doesn't make sense.
Right.
It's like it's a great fidget toy, but as a tool, no, it's not a fucking tool. It's a fidget toy. That's all it is. And can you cut something? Yeah, of course you can cut something, right? Like, of course it'll cut something open. But when it comes to grabbing an efficient tool versus that, you know, like of course you're going to go towards the efficient tool. So if you're carrying it as a fidget toy. That's why I like that perfect balance where I do want a knife that is a functioning tool and works really good as a tool first. But I find myself wanting the action. I want that fidget factor. I like to have that. So if I, you know, have the choice between a knife with really good action and it's a functioning tool over one that's just a functioning tool, I'm going to grab the one with the good action every time.
Makes sense. JB, do you find yourself with your work, do you find yourself where you have to pop the Marlin spike, or do you have to grab a knife pretty quickly? Or do you have some time?
As a general rule, no, it doesn't have to be done, you know, quickly. You've got time, but you know, as far as like the weak detent and stuff, if the knife is supposed to flip, then I want it to flip, and I want it to flip as soon as it breaks that detent. You know, that's just like in my videos when I say it has a weak detent. If I break that detent ball and it doesn't come open, it's got a weak detent. That's where I'm at, you know. And I just want the knife to operate the way it's supposed to operate. That's all, you know. That's all when I say if it's got a weak detent, well, can you fail it? Sure. If you give it a good flip, it'll come open. But there's a reason that detent ball is there is for when it to break, it opens.
Right.
That's, you know, that's just the way I look at things and the way I look at it. But no, I don't usually have to grab a knife. Like, I mean, would there be an instance? Sure, because we use taglines and stuff like that. Yeah. And sometimes some guy, you know, when you're moving stuff with a crane, you've got a tagline, and you know, you get these new guys that haven't been around them very long, and they get all tangled up in the tagline. You know, usually you can stop the crane because you're not moving that fast. You know what I mean?
Right.
But and you don't have to like slice a rope really quick. But I mean, could that potentially happen? Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
definitely.
I've told stories on this story on my channel and lives where I was in a tree cutting down a tree, and the branch, and it was completely my fault because of where the rope was positioned and everything. But you know, when you're cutting down a tree, you know, you have the rope, you know, you can pull the branch the direction you want. Well, the branch fell and the rope just so happened to wrap around me up in the tree, and I had to get my knife out, hurry up and cut it. And otherwise it would have ripped me out of the tree. You know, it was pulling me out of the tree, you know, and it wouldn't have been long till it got me out of the tree. So luckily I had the knife on me. But for just like basic stuff like at work, I like to say, like, do I need to be able to do it? You know, get my knife out and use it extremely fast? Not usually. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes I am in a position where I'm holding something and it's like, I don't want to have to put it down. I want to be able to just pull my knife out and use it. But I want to be, when I'm at work, and this is just a personal thing, I want to be the hardest damn worker there. I want to be the most efficient. And if I have to spend, say, you know, even 5 more seconds than I need to do something, that 10 times in a day adds up, that in a week adds up, that in a month adds up. And I want to be the most efficient I possibly can. So if I can do something faster and the same effectiveness, then I want to do that. And you know, regardless of what it is, whether I'm carrying something, whether I'm going and getting something, whether I'm putting something together, whatever it is, I want to be, you know, looked at as like the hardest worker in the building. And that does come with doing things efficiently and on time and not pussyfooting around, basically.
Right. So
Yeah,
that
no, it makes
pretty
sense.
much going in as content creators, and we have our hands on knives. Whether we purchase them ourselves, whether we review them from people kindly, donating them, and this, that, and the other thing. I think your personal preference as far as what you use your knife for comes into play when you do your review, because you know what's important to you, and you kind of put that into play for the most part. I mean, you can't help kind of sticking that in there a little bit and saying, this is for me, this is the knife for me, but it has quality. It has quality in certain areas.
Yeah.
And I see that's how you put your videos together too, Jared. JB, the same thing. You kind of listen, it's a quality blade, but I'm not really digging the egos, or I'm not really digging the action on it, or something like that.
Right.
And it's nice how you guys kind of highlight the good points of it, but how it just doesn't come together to be a good package.
Right. Well, you can always see something, like, even if it's not for me, I can see who it's for and what it's for. And I like to review it for who it's for. It's kind of like, and I'm not saying I don't, but like, say if I don't like hawkbills or recurves, right? Which I'm not saying I don't, I do, but I'm just saying, if I didn't, should that mean every time I get one, I just shit all over it? Well, no, I should review it and test it for the person that's going to be doing, like, cutting carpet or linoleum or whatever that blade shape is for, and say, can it do that effectively for that person? Can that person that does want that or does need that and is looking for that? Because think about it, I get it and I crap all over it. Now he's watching my review thinking, well, you're not even using what it's for. Like, of course you're crapping all over it. You're talking about the things that doesn't even matter for what it's for. So I do like to review for people too, and what they're looking for.
Right.
As much as I possibly can,
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, before you came on. I'm going to find the positives in a knife. I'm always going to find the positives. It might not be for me. There's certain knives that aren't for me. But I'm not going to bash the knife. I'm not going to bash the maker. I'm not going to, why? There's enough of that. Why?
Sure.
Show what it can do. And I always say that I'm going to show what it can do to the best of my ability. You can see it from there. So I'll do some chopping, I'll do some batoning, I'll do some slicing, and we'll do some cutting. And then every now and then, if I got the preacher, I'll do some cinder block bashing. But, for the most part, I just try to show what it can do and move forward, and really my hands are, I'd say, large. They're not extra large. So I'm fortunate that a lot of knives are pretty comfortable, but it's got to be comfortable in hand. It has to be.
Handle is important.
Handle is important to me. And it can be the best blade in the world, but if it's not comfortable, what good is it?
Right. I found lots of knives that are not comfortable for me. And I'll say it right out, like, this knife, is it comfortable? No, it's not. But can you use it, right? Like, is the blade shape? Because a lot of knives, they're not like all of them, but a lot of them are just made to use as a pinch grip. It's not like you're supposed to be breaking down cardboard stuff. You're supposed, it's kind of just a pinch grip thing where you just use it like that. And where when you look at the blade shape and how it's made, is that most likely how it's going to be being handled? If that's a yes, well, then it doesn't really matter if it's real comfortable for harder use settings. But all that does take place when you're using it and cutting it. And I find knives so often that are uncomfortable, but they're acceptable, right? They're acceptable. But then there's those ones, man, you put in your hand and it's just like, holy cow, this thing is so comfortable. And it makes you want to carry and use it because, you can comfortably use it, kind of like, it's why fixed blades are so much more comfortable than any folder. You put them in your hand, you don't have the clip in the way, you don't have the lock bar or anything like that. You just put it in your hand and it's like, putting a glove on.
I wish I could carry my fixed blades with me, but I can't.
I bet you do.
New York. That's
New York, right?
New York. I just can't.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed carrying a fixed blade.
I can't really carry a fixed blade either. I'm in the Chicago area, and it's not acceptable as much.
They scare people.
They do, which unnecessarily.
They don't scare nobody in Chicago.
No, they don't, because everybody's carrying something.
Everybody's got a gun in Chicago, but
that's for sure.
Now JB said, I've heard JB tell the story. Didn't you have a fixed blade when you first moved in, JB?
Yeah, sir. Yeah,
and they come
and then not
see down here.
I got a visit from one of the county's finest.
No good.
Because I was in my front yard with a fixed blade on me.
That's pathetic
crazy,
to me.
man.
I think that's one of the
go to
reasons I'm really
store.
looking to come down to Florida, Scab.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about that myself.
I think I want to carry all my knives around for that weekend.
Yeah,
I can
Me and Kara
carry
actually
a
talking about
fixed
moving.
blade. I did it last night and went in the store and there was a cop just nodded and I can't remember what it was. It was one of the Work Tough gears. So it wasn't a small blade, but I just had it on and nobody down here says anything about it.
right.
So it's always interesting to me.
You know, there is a point where you get used to it. It's kind of like Florida or Texas, you know, everybody's carrying a firearm. You know, you can usually see it or tell, or you just know, right? You just know. So nobody even thinks anything about it, right? Well, the same thing should be for a knife. It's a damn tool. Since the beginning of time, our existence does not exist without a knife, right? Even now, when we have the iPhones and all these, you know, iPads and laptops, we still can't exist without a knife. Why wouldn't that be a normal, common thing that everybody's used to? You wake up in the morning and use one in the kitchen. You go to sleep cooking dinner with one in the kitchen. You know, it's like, to me, it's just mind blowing how we can, I don't know, you know, make people's minds turn in a certain way to see something that's a tool as a danger thing. It's like, of course, it can be used as a dangerous thing. So can a brick. So can my fist. So can my car. Anything can be. But unless if you know, spin it, you know, in a certain way, whether it's through Hollywood or just people, politics, whatever, that spin it in a way to make you perceive it that way rather than the tool it is. Because let's be real, 99.99% of knives are being used as tools. You know.
Yeah. Well, I did read a statistic once, and I don't know how true it is, but they said most crimes that are committed with knives are committed with kitchen knives.
Kitchen knives, kitchen knives. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and that would be the one that you know, you would probably be allowed to carry. I don't know. I'm just joking there, but still, though, it's like, it's so mind blowing that, you know, they you know, that a pocket knife, which is, like I said, you know, when people buy a pocket knife, most people don't buy a pocket knife thinking like, oh, I'm going to use this for self-defense, right? Not saying that they can't, not saying that they don't possibly have it in the back of their head that if I needed to, I could, but they usually have some sort of work around or something like that with that. Now,
you could use one in everyday. Well, I mean, we use them just like you said in everyday life. You've got to have one. I couldn't imagine not having them.
Yeah, imagine having those banned.
Yeah, I mean,
knives, you know, it's mind blowing.
We're going to have, and I believe Jared, you are too, but we're going to have Doug Ritter on when, Joe?
Doug Ritter is coming on February 11th. Actually, we haven't slotted in on Blade Talk, which we're very excited about.
I bet.
And
that's amazing. Good for you guys.
Come on with you, Jared. And the more we can get him out there, a guy standing up for rights, you know, we need to support that. We need to put
it is information for sure. Knowledge and information, because a lot of people, like Kara one time had to go to jury duty, and when she was in there, there was actually a knife related thing, which was kind of weird, you know, the irony. But one of the ladies that was going to be a juror, her perception of like, why would anybody carry a knife? The only reason why they would carry one is to stab somebody, like just taking it down, like totally. It's like, what? And the guy, it was self-defense, by the way. It was complete self-defense. The guy was jumped and attacked, and he happened to have a knife, and he defended himself. But it's like, now they were trying to spin it as if he was a murderer. And but it's just like, how can your mind go there? The guy had a pocket knife on him as a tool. Luckily, he did, first of all. But aside from that, it's like, that was a tool until he got jumped. If he had a brick, it would have been the same thing. If he had a hammer, it would have been the same thing. Right. If he was in his car, it would have been the same thing. Like, let's not spin it towards that.
I had a friend of mine pulled over 4 or 5 months ago now, and he had a cold steel Voyager with 5.5-inch blade.
Nice.
He got 3 years on paper. They gave him 3 years probation. Yeah. because in
That's
Florida,
sad.
and
That's
this
sad.
is what I try to stress to people, and I'm not sure where it's at, like with you, JB, or where you're at, but I know in
Jeez.
Florida it's 4.5 inches. That's the
Okay.
legal length. Now we get a lot of people, and let me help everybody out before anybody says anything. This is the most dumbass thing in the world. Some people go, if it's the palm of your hand, what if you got a midget for a cop? It
Right.
doesn't work that way. Every state has an inch limit. And I'm not sure what yours is, JB, or yours, Jared. But in Florida, ours is a little bit. It's 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Josh had a 5.5.
Here,
And
if you're in
they just
downtown, it's
pushed it.
3.
3?
If you're downtown,
3?
if you're in downtown Chicago, it's 3 inches. And then like outside city limits, it's probably 4. I'm not positive outside city limits, but I know it's longer than 3 because that's only for the downtown area.
You're gonna have a lot to talk to Doug about because I think Manhattan, you can't have a knife at all. You can't have in Manhattan.
That's crazy.
You can't have a knife at all. Outside, like the suburbs, yeah. I mean, under 4 inches. I to be honest, I'm confused. I really don't know what the laws are.
They change them constantly, which is
it's just crazy. Yeah, I'm not even really that sure because it changes from week to week.
We need to keep doing what we're doing and all band together, and get it done. I know JB's a big supporter of knife rights. Jared's having Ritter on. We're having him on, and the only thing we can do is just get behind him.
I would move. I would move.
I love that there's people like Doug Ritter out there fighting for us because usually the people that are making these little laws and all these things don't have any sort of good perception or any kind of reality towards a knife or somebody carrying a knife, whether it's construction worker or whatever, just for carrying a knife for whatever reason, right? Because it's a tool, but their perception towards it's kind of like the OTF thing, right? Probably the most safest knife you could actually carry is if that's even faster than this. Is if that's faster than that, right? An OTF, like it's no faster than this. There's no possible way. But their perception towards it is that, it must be more dangerous because it opens fast with a button. Like that's, but they don't learn when we don't have people like Doug Ritter out there fighting the good fight for us, which I commend him so much, man. He's so awesome.
Well, they banned the ballistic knife because of the movie Commando. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact.
That's what I mean. Hollywood will get us every time.
You could look up 1988, I believe it is. But anyway, Joseph, I think we got a giveaway or two that we probably should do.
We really have to get into the guys that handed in the submissions.
Joe, we're not doing that. Let's
we're not doing that.
Yeah, we are. You're the moderator here. You're the boss. Tell us what we're doing.
Well, I would like to kind of, because they did a lot of work in getting me this stuff in. So I'm going to try to spin through it really quick if I can. It's not too long. It's not too long. All right. So let me bring in Isaac, okay, and put up his knife. Give me a sec.
I bet it's going to be a buck. I'm just going to guess.
Oh, wow. Hello. It's Isaac.
Shout out to Isaac.
Hey, listen, man. I love bucks.
Nice.
All right. So he had sent me his story. He got his first buck in early 2019. He said D-Bed, of course, had given it a great review, but he was most inspired from a channel he called 1972 Woodsman, who has a new channel called whatever. Okay. He had told a story about how he was growing up in the 70s and 80s, how he would see his uncle carrying a buck 110 all the time. It was a hugely popular knife at the time. His uncle owning and inspiring him to get his own 110 at some point and enjoying it. He said his uncle eventually gave him his own, buck 110. So his thing is the buck 110 is one of those knives that's immediately recognized and can be used and cherished for years to come. He goes, his hope is that his kids will remember that their dad carrying this knife out in the woods and using it in the hope that to have their own one day as well. So one that would have, belong to their dad. So basically what he's trying to say is make it more of like a heritage type of thing. Like you saw, I saw my dad using this knife and you'll get this knife one day. So that's why his endearment with the buck 110 to be able to pass that on.
Every knife guy should have a buck 110. Every knife guy should have a buck 110.
And then we got
Me
keep
and Joe are
talking,
sitting
man.
here like, well, I'm sorry, we don't have one.
I'll get one very soon. I just like a lot of the other buck folders more. But
I got one of those
Yeah.
autos here from the Buck 110
It might
auto.
be too heavy for Joe to carry. Which one is that, JB?
That's the Buck Highline.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Tell
I
you
also
what,
got here.
I mean, I
That's
haven't had-
wicked.
dude. I tell you what, this is. I'm excited with this buck. I am. I'm liking this one so much. And
Dude,
it's so
you've
much
been
fun.
smiling since you pulled it up the whole time. Seriously.
It's fun. It's just a fun little.
That's
knife.
awesome.
It feels good in hand, and it's so unprototypical buck.
All right.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, it's just a fun little knife, and I'm having a. And the crazy thing about it is I can actually ring finger flick it, so that's like.
That's
Have you
awesome, man. I love
tried
the look of that.
the Buck Paradigm.
No,
I've seen that one.
You
So there's
have
two
to
bucks I've
move
never
the
seen
bolster.
before. I really
out of
like
the
that one,
way.
JB.
You move the bolster out of the way, and it's an auto. Well, I guess an assist, but it locks once you shut that. So you move that out of the way. Now it's an assist. Snaps open, and then you close
Oh.
at the same time. But it's
Interesting.
S30V, USA made. A bit expensive for what it is, but you know, still it's a buck, USA made. So you know, you can kind of expect the price to be up there a little bit more. My favorite buck was the Buck Marksman. I was really excited to see them collab with G&G Hawk. Big Red, I know you know about the Buck Marksman.
Mhm.
That, man, I wish I still had it. I did wind up
good night.
trading or selling it, and it's definitely one that I regret. Such a good knife.
Well,
Definitely out of Buck's usual, which was so awesome about it.
So why don't we bring KC into the conversation, because he's in the waiting room, because he's got something to do. But definitely, I don't want to keep him waiting. We'd love to see him on our live. So let's bring him in.
That guy stinks. You shouldn't bring him in.
What's
up,
up,
Casey?
dude?
But unlike
what's
Joe
going on,
unlike Joe and Jared, he has a buck 110. Matter of fact, not only do I have a buck
Rite of
110,
passage.
I have a buck
He has
light.
27 of them.
I have a buck light, which is the lightweight 110.
Nice.
So I have both. But this is actually the 50th anniversary buck 110. So
That's pretty.
yep. But so sorry, Jared, I got you there. Of course,
Yeah,
he's
you
holding
did.
a
That's the way to
he's
come in
holding a
swinging.
Rockstead and a whatever else, but I don't have any of
Yeah.
those. But
I have an auto here. It's not mine, but I do have a Buck 110 auto, which I have to say is really, really nice because of the weight. When you deploy it, even though it snaps, you know, with authority, you can barely feel it because the weight of the knife is so heavy from the brass bolsters. So when it snaps open, it's almost like nothing happened, even though you know the blade's fully deployed. But you know, like Scab was saying earlier, you know, you can basically throw it through a window.
Casey, thank you for joining us. JB, what was that buck? I'm sorry, guys. JB, what was that buck that you're now smiling again with? What's the name of it, brother?
The Highline.
Highline.
Okay.
Highline. Okay.
I'm just making a note because I
Yeah,
really
pretty cool
dig
one.
that.
I do like that too.
I think it's
I'm really
Hiline.
okay. I'm really digging that, man.
And then I just wanted to throw one more. I just wanted to throw one more thing in on your on your legality thing a little bit ago. So in where I live, I'm not allowed to carry this little guy because he's automatic.
Oh.
But it's what, a 2.5 inch blade.
What if it was 2 inches?
No.
Still
Just
no.
use it
Just
for
Yeah, I mean, if it was a
auto.
quarter of a centimeter, I couldn't carry it where I live. So,
Yep.
but I don't believe, unless nobody has told me, I don't believe there's a limit on blade length as far as anything that's not a Dirk. It's like a Dirk, a Bowie, or a anything automatic. Other than that, I can carry whatever length I want. Matter of fact, see, I've carried this one many times.
And isn't that
the
just
bull mastiff.
crazy though? Like the
And
mindset
right,
around that
exactly.
type of room.
So I can carry this, but I can't carry that.
It's
Makes
crazy.
a lot of sense.
But that's
It
it's
makes-
all
it makes a lot of
perception,
sense.
Jared. It's all perception. It's
I
it's
know.
the perception of an auto
The
and
movies.
the
They
quick.
got us,
You know,
man.
it's all perception.
Yep.
That's all it is.
It's all back to the switchblades of the 60s, 50s, and 60s. And
Yeah. If we
movies,
knew that
movies.
what they were going to do to us in the future, man, we could have just banned the movies. I'm just joking. But it's just crazy. It's like,
that sounds brilliant.
As
it's so
somebody who's
crazy
been
what somebody will
stabbed,
think.
as
And you're
a
always
person
told
who's-
growing up, movies are fake. Movies are fake. Movies are
Wait,
fake.
what did you say, Scab?
I said, as somebody who's been stabbed, I still believe in carrying a knife. I mean, y'all hear me a million times kind of laugh at the self-defense thing on my channel, and I'm not defend yourself at all costs, defend your family. I'm not against that, but we have certain rights. Doug Ritter's fighting for them, and all of us, while we're all here, we need to fight for them. We need to stand for them, and we need to, the odds of you getting stabbed or getting in a knife fight are astronomical. They really are. It's just dumb luck, and I've got the dumbest luck of them all.
It definitely
I am
depends on
very
where you're
pro-
at, because I've seen people stabbed. I've had knives pulled
Oh,
out
yeah.
on me. I've seen people shot. I've seen people murdered. But I'm in I grew up
You're
in
in
a real
Chicago.
bad area, so
That's like it.
yeah. Well, I
They-
grew up also
they-
in a bad. Where I'm at now, I'm in a good area, but I grew up in a bad area. So
I got
There's
you.
only a couple stabbings a day now, Jerry. You didn't hear me.
I don't think
I
you
said you
heard
only
me.
got a couple stabbings
I'm
a
sorry,
day
I
now
didn't
in the
hear
neighborhood. Nah. Joe,
Only a
or
couple.
no, what do we need to do now? Casey, we had a giveaway.
Yes.
Joe,
Yeah. Let me
how are we
bring that
going to do
up.
that? Well, Casey, let's do this. We're going to do the number thing, Joe,
Yep.
because you like that.
Maybe I'm stealing a page from your book of how you do your giveaways, which I think is perfect.
But now Casey's going to pick the number.
Yeah.
All right. If he tells me what the range is, I'll be glad to put it in the private chat. I'll
Sure,
pick a number.
Let me bring up the knife on screen.
And by the way, I just wanted to say, I didn't get a chance to say this to everybody out there. Scab, thank you so much, man. I was just below 2,500 subs. Scab said, hey, that's not acceptable. And he put up a video, and I'm at like 2540 something now. And the 2,500 sub giveaway is up. So
Awesome.
if you want to win, I'll just promote this crazy thing real quick. I love this knife. If you want to win a Finch Drifter with a beautiful clip point blade, go on over to my channel and subscribe and watch the video, and it'll tell you how to do it.
That's you and JB.
Tina, can
got
you
me
put
into this
actually
thing.
the links to the channels too as you hear them, please?
What'd you say, Scab?
I said you and JB watching y'all with those Finch. There's just my only holdup on it is like I want to find one that with the right size for me. But I love the aesthetics. I love the look. I like the colors of them.
they're
Honestly.
really nice. They're
Yeah,
even nicer
there's
than you
just a
think
lot.
when you get them in hand. They're very, very nice.
Are they really?
Very
I
much
know
so.
JB's done a lot. That really, JB's spent more of my money than I have. Huh?
They're just on the small side, and I
Yeah,
totally,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
but I
what
mean that's
Yep.
that's what you hear from most people, and they are. They're on the small side. They're
but
like
that's not necessarily a negative.
No,
I recommend the Harvester. The Harvesters are my favorite one.
I like
it's
that one.
really, really good.
Hang on half a second.
The blade shape, I always say, man, it is such a good worker. And it really is. If you get one in hand, and even if you like big knives, you get that one in hand, you can get a full grip on it. And the blade shape it's so good for right there. Yeah. That blade shape
I
right there.
love
It's
that,
so
man.
good for
I
just
like
opening
that
things up. If you need to cut a rope, when you're facing it towards you, turn backwards, the rope gets
There it
caught
is.
on the
I
edge.
went by it 3 times.
You don't have to
JB's
worry
already
about
got
sticking
his.
around.
Yeah,
right,
that's
bro.
the first time I've seen that Harvester was JB, and it's just a phenomenal knife.
Yeah,
I
that's the
just
same one I
love
got,
the
Casey.
looks of it. I just like it.
Yeah, it's a good
Okay.
looking knife.
All right, so let's do a giveaway. So let me bring this up on screen first. All right. So Scab, this is the knife, the SE that you
Yes,
were giving away.
yeah, it's actually, I'm a terrible picture taker. It's actually a gorgeous knife. I got it right here. I can't even walk out the house without 10 knives. But it's an SE Azula, and this kind of fits where I want to go when we get these giveaways done, just for a quick second. But it's everything's in the box, all the SE stuff. This is one of my favorite little SEs. It's just a nice little Azula. I guess it's Damascus. Everything Rowan does, I believe, is 1095. Somebody can correct me. That's like everybody's favorite thing to do.
They have the best warranty out there for sure.
Dude, and a great company.
You cannot beat their warranty. What other company says it can be your fault and we'll still replace it? That's
now, here's a little tip, boys and girls growing up in the South, that you'll learn from the old men. And you know, if you're young, don't listen to this. But you see that right there? If you ever see an old man in a bar standing like this right here, you best not go in his purview, because he's about to do some work. That right there is old school. Now, don't use this knife for that, whoever Casey. And if you do, Casey picked you to win. So I think legally he would be to blame, not me.
It's his fault.
It's your knife. You're shipping it to him.
It's his fault.
All right,
listen,
so I'm
this is
bring
a
up
great
the
knife, and Casey, I'm happy to do it. It's just kind of a tradition, man. JB shout, y'all, everybody here shouts people out, and that's the way it should be. We got to help each other. I'm a big believer in that.
All right, guys, we're going to start doing some giveaways because we got a couple of knives to really give away. So these are pretty much the rules for the giveaway. Obvious stuff, guys. Must be 18 years older. Shipping address should be in the USA. We would like you to be subscribed to all our channels, to be honest with you. I mean, that'll be great. And you may only choose one number between the start and stop. If you guys choose more than one number, you will be disqualified because it's just too many people pick, more than one number. So only pick one number when we press start in the chat room, and when you see stop, that's when we're going to stop looking at numbers. Obviously, winning number chosen, or the one that is closest to the random number wins. Those are the rules. So there you have it. Okay. KC, I think how many people we have in the room right now? Let's see.
74.
74 people. Do like a number pick any number between 200 and 500. Between 200 and 500. Any number, whoever comes closest to that number wins. Guys, don't pick numbers yet. Only when you see start, when Tina or Yakalob press start on the chat room.
Joe, it's in the private chat, brother.
It's in the private chat?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right, so you did it there. Okay. All right, so Tina, can you, whenever you're ready, press put start on the chat room, and then guys and gals, as you see start, just start picking those numbers. So let's wait for that.
I'm laughing at Jason Brown. Sorry.
Hey, real quick, everybody in the chat, man, thank y'all for sticking with us. Angry Jackalope, David Iverson, Jay Freeman, Jason Brown, Miller 86, man, Stephen Klaus, Yakalope. Thank you, Yakalope, for your help. So sharp. I appreciate
Read the private chat when you guys get a second. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Scab.
Thank you, Jared. You're acting like Joe now.
I'm sorry.
Where's my damn? That's all right. We'll let it slide. JB, I just sent you a message.
Very good. Very good.
Dude, you've spent more of my money than I have.
Very cool.
Okay. That's in there. I see the number. Okay, perfect.
JB, we just have a lot of the same taste, man. There's a lot of knives that we just have the same.
I'm having a lot of fun with it, dude. I really am. It makes
You
me
literally,
it makes me smile.
you literally went from not smiling to smiling as soon as you picked it up. That sold me.
Dude, it makes me smile. It really does.
And I'm dropping knives.
Again.
I mean, I'm excited now.
And that time I cut my finger. Ow.
Jeez.
Casey, come on, son. Now, Casey, what do you do for a living?
I work in radio and television on the engineering and production side of things.
Okay.
You got to talk more, there, buddy.
That hurt.
Were you
Go
at
ahead.
the national championship?
No, I have. When I was younger, I went all over the place doing anything and everything you can imagine like that. When I had 4 kids, I made the decision I was going to stay regionally. So literally, I do games in Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee.
Okay.
That's about it these days.
That's really cool, though, man.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, they
I
try
like
from time to time to get me to fly other places, and I'm just like, man, that passed me by 20 years ago. So,
And Jared, you're in construction.
No, I actually work at a distillery now, but I did construction my whole life. Past couple of years I work at a distillery.
Very cool.
So lots of
Very cool.
lots of cardboard and straps.
Very cool. That's awesome. It's interesting to see what everybody does.
Whiskey
Everybody
and bourbon.
what they do and how they come together.
yeah, and you asked me about this, Scab, while we're waiting for the numbers. You asked me about this, and I heard Jared mention it earlier. Yeah, exactly. Guys, I'm fine. I just took a chunk out of the tip of my finger. That's all. I was actually sitting here flipping my very own knife, the Mach 51.
That's how it happens.
And I was going to type something and dropped it while it was open, and it dropped on my finger. That's all.
I got
But he was mentioning the knife that you roll
sorry.
with. So you mentioned what I do for a living. This is the knife that goes with me on the job if I'm doing TV stuff. Is the Manix 2. Just reliable. The lock's not going anywhere. It takes a wicked edge. This is the S30V, and that's the
solid
one.
Solid knife.
Very much
Love
so.
that one.
So
You can get so many parts for it too. You can make it your own.
yeah, and I have a second one, but this one I wouldn't call nearly as solid because it's the FRN scales. But I love the Manix 2. It's just a perfect fit in my hand.
Yeah. No, that is a solid knife. And if you like bigger knives, they do have the XL version.
I know I need to try an XL.
It is really good. I actually
hold on, Jared. We're gonna close this off, guys.
Oh,
in
sorry,
about a minute. So try pick your number 200 to 500. Go ahead, Jared. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, because we were talking about wounds, I was on a live and I had a rock stud in my hand, and I dropped it a few inches, like the blade just like went like that, and it looked like nothing, so nobody even realized anything happened, and I took off running because I got cut to the bone.
Yikes!
And everybody's like, what? Like, because they didn't even see nothing. And then my thumb was messed up, for like a week. A week later, because my hand is still messed up, I'm cutting something, and I have the Spartan Harsey, and it goes through the strap I'm cutting, but I don't have a good grip because I can't really use my thumb. Right into the exact same cut, all the way back to the bone.
Oh god!
My thumb. Now I have no feeling in my thumb. So at least if I get stabbed again, I won't feel it.
Hey, there you go. That's the way you do. You just keep getting stabbed and bend it up.
First cut I had was with this guy here, the Voyager. I was actually doing a review before I was picking up my girls from school in the car. I was doing like a short, and I kind of wasn't really looking, and I kind of closed it on my pinky, and I had blood. I didn't have any napkins in my car, so I was wrapping up like loose leaf paper for my kids' books.
Oh,
and just
man.
like wrapping up my pinky up.
There you go.
Girls, I got like a trail of blood.
Looking like a horror fest.
The other parents are looking at me like, "What the hell is going on with you?" And I got loose leaf paper wrapped around my pinky. And it's like the blood is obviously going through the paper, and it's like I got a trail of blood, and I'm like, your hand in my pocket. I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm fine.
Oh man,
yeah.
So
All right,
tell me
guys.
you're not a knife guy without telling me you're not a knife guy.
Right.
Dino, press stop, hon. If you can press stop, because we're gonna look at these numbers. Press stop when you're ready.
Todd Carr, it's more like 9.8.
Casey, what's the price point real quick? What's going to be the price point on your knife? Somebody asked me that the other day.
Oh boy. So the plan was to sell it for $250. I found out something 2 days ago about availability of steel that may cause it to go up slightly. I don't know yet. I'm going to try to stick on that price. I was about to launch the Kickstarter. JB knows this whole story. And all of a sudden steel became non-existent. And so they're having to reorder it. So it's going to change the timeline a little bit and the price probably slightly, but I'm going to go ahead and say probably right around $250.
Okay.
I hope and pray that this COVID thing stops screwing up the supply chain because.
Well, listen, another time, another life, when I dealt with China for other things, the Chinese New Year, honest to God, it's not.
I understand.
it does mess things up, man. It
Yeah,
really does.
That's kind of what they're telling me. It's
February.
my timing that's kind of screwing it up. Is if I had been able, if I had already done the Kickstarter, which I was going to launch in the middle of December, but so if I had already launched the Kickstarter and had the money to order right now, I would probably be okay. But since I'm about to launch the Kickstarter and that means 45 days, they're going to be completely out of steel and have to reorder it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to display the number on screen. KC, I'm reading your number on the private as 377, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. So let's put that on screen. So, guys, the winning number is 377. Put that there. All right, guys, that's the winning number. Let's see if we can. My moderators, if you guys can help me out and look to see if who came close to 377.
I see one right on the nose.
Really? Okay.
Nice.
I see Jay Friedman with 377 right on the nose.
JB's an expert at this thing.
Jay Friedman. Well, since we're a little silent right now, I'm also going to add into this giveaway a Kaiser Justice, brand new factory edge, perfect condition. These things are really good, full size knives, N690 steel, titanium spring clip, deep carry. It is reversible. The detent is so solid, complete fall shut action. These things are ridiculously smooth. But just send me your address on Instagram or email, and I'll get it shipped out to you. So
that's
just a little cherry on top for the giveaway.
Awesome.
And JB's got JB, what you got?
I'm throwing an i3T EOS.
Oh, I love that light.
And I'll throw one of those in the giveaways we do today as well.
Nice.
Very cool.
All right, man. I appreciate
Jay
it.
Friedman's getting hooked.
Casey,
yeah, I was going to say, and
man, that was awesome. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Joe. Yeah, and Joe, if you send me the address for the person, I'll throw some. I'll send some Knives Fast swag and some different stuff their way as well. So
all right,
awesome.
So Jay Friedman won the Essie knife. So congratulations, Jay.
Excellent.
Fantastic. So I'm going to put the Blade Talk email on screen for you guys. All right, and that's the email. So Jay, if you can just kind of copy that email down and just email you your information, and I'll get it over to KC or however we're doing this, or to Scab, or however we're getting this knife out.
Yeah, send me an address and I'll mail it out.
Yeah,
congratulations, Jay.
Let's do this.
Congratulations. And
Yes,
most people they know how to.
If he contacts you, you can disseminate it, and I'll get it out.
Yeah, just send it. Just send it to all of us.
Yeah, keep it in one place, one Gmail, and I'll just forward it out to however we got to kind of.
We'll make it as confusing as we can.
Yeah, there you
awesome.
Go.
That way, I'll just keep the knife for the next giveaway, and I'll look even better.
Give it away every week.
Let's let Jared call his, Joe.
Okay. All right, and
and we'll
show
let
your knife
JB
from
call
school
his.
again?
I mean, listen, if they're doing a giveaway, let them pick the winner, man. That's
Sure,
only right.
Absolutely. Less things for me to do. I'm fine with that.
So we're just gonna do another number.
Yeah, why not? You want to put it in the chat?
I'll put it in the chat right now. We're gonna do between the same two numbers, though, right?
200 to 500. Let's just keep it there.
Okay.
But this one, guys, let's try to pick them a little quicker because we got a lot of knives to give away. So want to try to get it all into the live as much as we can anyway.
All right, it's sent.
Sent. All right, let me just make sure I got it. I see your number. Perfect. Okay. All right, Tina, if you can press start whenever possible. Everybody get ready. Pick a number between 200 and 500. Once again, whoever comes closest to that number will win Jared's knife. So,
Kaiser Justice.
I will be right back, guys.
So, all right, start is there, guys. Start picking your numbers. Okay. Casey, I've been trying to get into your industry all my life.
Really?
Because I'm a professional cinematographer and photographer for 40 years. I've been doing it since a kid.
That's what you do for a living?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Very
you know,
cool.
I was gonna ask you what you use because, man, you look amazing. Your lighting, everything, like it's just like on point. What do you use?
You're talking to me?
Yes, Joe. Yeah.
I use pretty much, for pretty much my pro work and branching it into YouTube, I use all mirrorless cameras.
Okay. Mirrorless.
Mirrorless.
Okay.
Mirrorless cameras. This is a Z6 from Nikon.
Very cool.
Oh, there it is. Z6
So what's
from
the
Nikon.
big deal between mirrorless and mirror?
The technology is pretty much up to date to what the best that the technology can be on a compact DSLR.
Okay.
In terms of the focusing, in terms of the eye detection, face detection.
Gotcha.
Like if I'm on the screen, it'll find my eyes and it'll follow me.
It'll follow you, right?
It's
right,
fantastic.
Right.
I mean, the focusing and the quality is just outrageous. It really is good. Lighting.
So,
now, a lot of
ISO.
that when you buy a camera, excuse me, because I just got into cameras. I know nothing about them. The lens you have is quite a big deal, right?
It depends on what you're looking to achieve. If you really want to have some good depth of field, you get it's called a fixed lens.
Okay.
Like a 50 or a 30 millimeter fixed lens.
Okay.
And what that does is it'll focus on the subject and it'll blur the back. I don't want to get too technical. It'll blur the background and it'll really make you pop.
Why not, Joe? Go ahead and talk about depth of field. Let's just blow their minds real quick.
Gotcha.
Let's go all in. I'm sitting here with a fogged up lens. I know nothing about it, so it's
fogged up lens.
That's
We've been trying to
pretty
fix
good.
that fogged up lens since the beginning of the show. It depends on what you're looking to utilize it for. I would say just get like a 24 to 70 is a really good all-purpose lens.
Okay.
And but it also depends on. I think that Canon is also a cropped sensor, so you have to get a specific lens for that cropped sensor.
Right.
I mean, listen, off air, I can talk your ear off about all this crap, but not to get
Yes,
too
he
crazy
can.
on this. But a wider lens, like a 24 to 70, would be perfect for you.
I wish we would have talked a week ago, but I'm definitely all open for any type of suggestions or point your finger, because like I said, I know nothing about.
Yeah,
just
like when I shoot my knives or my swords,
Yeah.
I use a fixed lens.
Okay.
Because I just think it makes everything, the metal pop. It just makes everything pop, and it'll blur the background and it'll make it really isolated on the screen. So I like.
When you
using
say
fixed
fixed lens, do you mean one that you can't move? Is that
Yes,
You can't
it's a
zoom
6
it.
millimeter.
Right.
6 millimeter. You could get like a 30. You could get a 50, an 85, and the higher in the millimeter, the more blur you have in the background.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
know? That's
Yeah.
really what it comes down
bro,
to.
you need to watch. If you hadn't watched one of Joe's videos, and anybody in the chat, you need to subscribe to Joe. But his videos are some of the best on YouTube, man. I mean,
Right.
seriously. When it comes to the cinematography, now you don't know shit, but when it comes to the cinematography, dude is just in another world, man. Seriously,
enjoy it.
the guy-
I enjoy it. I mean, I'm glad to bring
Good show.
what I know into it.
Yeah. No, I think
Well,
that
I mean,
that's very important because that's one thing that was lacking up until like a year ago, and then people that were in your field or understood a lot more started stepping into the realm, which is really nice because there so many knives are so
Right.
beautiful, but
right.
if they're not captured the right way, it's like you can't
Exactly.
even
Yeah.
understand how good it looks.
T,
in
press
person.
stop if I didn't tell you that already. T, I'm sorry. But go ahead, Jared.
But yeah, that's what I with my camera phone. I know it's not a camera, but my camera phone. I started getting into it, with the photography and the filming and everything. So I really had to start learning the lighting and all the stuff with that. And now I'm stepping into another realm with the camera where, I know what I know, but I'm definitely in deeper waters than I'm used to. So I'm kind of relearning again in a little bit different way.
Right. Like there's other things you can get also to make it more cinematic. You get you ever heard of a camera slider?
I know nothing.
You
mean for the camera to slide back and forth?
It slides on a rod.
Okay.
So it gives you a smooth like panning motion.
Right.
It's not that important more with knives because knives are not as large as swords, because I need to pan the whole length of the blade and to the handle. So it's more important to me, but it's definitely a great tool. I mean, there's a lot of little nifty things you can get to like bring up the whole production value.
Have you ever and I know we got to do this giveaway, but have you ever done a channel or reviews on like that type of stuff, tech stuff, cameras, lenses, or anything like that?
No, but I'm actually thinking about it. Maybe on like another venue or something,
I was all over them trying to figure out what I was going to get.
I may actually do it on another venue. Maybe like on TikTok or something like that. Because
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever.
I think I may. I may keep it away from my realm, but maybe just do it on another type of.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely a different platform. But man, if you did a different platform, man, I can't imagine how good it could go.
Yeah. All right. So I think, did we press stop here? Oh, I'm losing track here.
Yeah.
Is the winner Maurice? I don't know. Somebody announced the winner, but they don't know the number. Okay.
That's Maurice for you. Shout out to Maurice. Love that dude. He's always in my life.
All right. Listen, my moderators, thank you, Tina, Yakalop. I'm going to bring the number up if you guys could help me out and let me know who won. All right. So, Jared, if I'm not mistaken, I am reading that you chose 256.
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir. 256.
Right. 256 is the number. I'll put it up. Whoever came closest, 256.
Michael goes. Michael goes. Got 256 on the nose.
You got. I have Quillen 19 as well.
Okay.
I see other people too, but it was after. So.
Yeah, it's only between start and stop. If it's after stop.
No, I mean it was after. I think. The other guy who got it. So who was the one that won it? The first, I guess. Who won it first?
It was.
I'm looking.
What was it?
Freeman? Michael Ghost. Oh no, he says 216.
Yeah, 256, guys. Yeah, Jared. I mean, you could go on with this stuff.
I see K Willen 19 got it.
Yeah.
At 410. K Willen 19.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he got it first or not, but I see he did get it. But yeah, I can only imagine like how deep it goes because even just watching the videos I watched, learning the little tiny drop of knowledge I got from picking a camera and new microphones and everything else, I know it's there's a lot to it. So I can only imagine. And if you do know the knowledge, you can imagine there's a huge market of people.
Because you know what is it just branches into a hobby then after a while. It branches into like it actually makes it, but branches into a hobby. Matthew Jensen is in the room. What's up, Matthew? Nice to see my sword people here.
Well, then there's so many people these days starting running channels, doing photography as a hobby, just because if you think about it, everybody, every company has to do on some end social media, right? and there's so many people that use the Instagram for their business, right? You can literally run an entire business on Instagram, but it does take, you know, good photography, good this, you know, and a lot of people can use their phones and stuff, but there's so many people every single day switching over to higher tech to produce the best quality they can for their audience. So,
all right.
yep.
So who won this knife?
K Willen 19.
K Willen 19.
Yep. He said thank you. KWILLIN 19.
19.
There you
All
go.
right, Kay, congratulations, buddy. So
Congratulations.
put
Congrats.
the how do you want to do it? You want him just to email me or just contact you on your Instagram or something like that, or whatever's easier? Blade Talk.
The best way would probably be to contact Jared since he's giving it away.
Okay, if you could contact Jared.
Neves Knives on Instagram, or you can go through me on email. All my information is always on my channel in the description. But if you want my email right now, I'll write it in the chat.
There you go.
Hey, Joe, we're going to do
Yes.
JB's giveaway when we get that started. Before, I think Casey said he's going to have to go in a minute. Before he does, I want to make one quick announcement. If you don't mind hanging out just a second, Casey.
Yeah, that's fine. I just got to go start grilling dinner in a minute.
It won't take but a minute.
Yeah.
JB's going to give a light away. Let's get that started. And then, Joe, if you don't mind, I'll just make a quick announcement.
Sure.
And we'll
Go right in.
move.
I did
So
drop my
you say
email in the
start.
chat. for
JB,
you
you
guys.
got your number?
Yeah, I got one.
You put it in the comments?
Oh, here you go.
Put it in the private chat.
Yeah, put it in the private chat so I can see it there.
And you
I
won't
see.
tell
I
Tina.
see your number. All right,
ready?
so let's do start and stop, Tina, please. Actually, start first, and then we'll go do stop. So let's do start.
All right, guys, real
There
quick,
it is.
while you're putting in your numbers, y'all know I've been mentioning doing a raffle for veterans, hashtag 22 a day. That's a major thing with me. Here's how that works. No money whatsoever ever comes to me. You donate to the charity, you send us a screenshot, and we enter you in. We're going to decide whether it's $5 or $10, however much you enter to charity or give to charity. Send us a screenshot of the receipt. Now, JB's generously loaned or given knives for the raffle. We have a concept. We have a Hogue. We have an SRK and CPM 20CV. I've got some other knives coming in, and Joe and I will announce the kickoff to that at the end of the month. While I got you three guys here, what I'd ask of you is this: help us promote that. I'm not asking anything monetarily from you at all, but I am asking that if you don't mind, put that up, because what I'd like to do is have people donate to Mission 22, and it'll go to help veterans. So if you guys could just help us promote that, I would greatly and forever be in your debt. And that's it. And Joe and we'll kick that off at the end of the month. We're going to do it through this channel this time. It's a big cause with me, guys.
Missions 22.
Big cause
that's
for a
good.
lot of reasons.
Awesome,
So,
Scab.
and I would greatly well, I want this to be the best raffle it can be. So I bought a couple more knives. We're waiting on them to come in. Joe's got a couple, and we'll put packages together and we'll announce the kickoff. If
You're
guys
going to
would
hear it
just
a
help
lot. You're going to be touting it like crazy on your channel. I'm going to be touting it on my channel. We're going to definitely put it out there. You know,
I
just
got a
want it-
live
I
going
want
on
it-
tonight. I'll announce it tonight. You said Missions 22.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the important thing for me is that everybody understand we don't take any money at all.
Right.
None, zero, none. It goes to the charity. I think that's the fairest way to do it. It's the most, I don't want any hint of impropriety. And then what we'll do is we'll do a live and we'll do kind of the same thing. We'll just have to figure out how to do it, but we'll have a raffle, and I want it to, and I greatly, fellas, I appreciate all of y'all's support all the time. Anyway,
Anytime.
thank you so much, Casey. Go grill, son.
Yeah, I gotta
Casey,
go
thanks
throw
for
some
joining
chicken
us,
on the
bud.
grill,
See you later,
guys.
Casey.
Thank you.
Buddy.
All right, take it easy.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Casey.
All right, let me get you out.
I also noticed Thank you, Miss Tina, gladly. I also noticed that Papa Shredder said Mama Shredder's still not doing good, so thoughts and prayers to her
Yes.
for sure. Please,
She's doing, I
please
think, the
keep
worst
her.
out of all of them. I spoke to Jonathan today. She's
That's
having it.
what I just read.
She's having the roughest time. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
So and JB's fighting something. So prayers for JB. I'm just glad you've held up through this, man. I was worried. I just was like, man, take care of yourself first. Now,
I wasn't sure if you were coming.
Taking days off, JB?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have. Well, unfortunately, I canceled my trip to SHOT Show because of it. I had to.
God, it sucks, man.
So
That sucks.
I hope you feel better soon, man.
I did my
We'll go to Blade Show in Atlanta. I'll be there.
test. So hopefully I'll be testing myself later. We'll see.
So Jared, you know who's another big tech guy with the cameras and stuff is I don't know if you know Matthew Jensen. He's a big sword guy. He's a really great sword reviewer. He's actually probably the guy that all the sword people go to. He's phenomenal. And most of the time when I do speak to him, we're talking more about cameras than we are swords.
I bet.
Because it became his hobby too. He's photography and the whole lighting and everything that goes along to it. And his videos are really detailed too. I mean, with the close-ups and the camera work and the lighting and the angles and stuff like that. But
he's also phenomenally good looking. You don't want to leave that. You want to make sure you mention that. Matthew's a very good looking man.
Especially when he lets his hair flare.
When he got the hair going, it's something to behold.
It definitely helps if you're going to run a channel of any sort, whatever it is, to have knowledge in both fields. If you can have knowledge on blank product or topic, plus, tech stuff, microphones, lighting, etc. It's, that's a good setup for a good channel, because I notice you'll see a lot of one or the other.
Yeah.
Right. There'll be really good tech people, but not necessarily really good on the topic.
Oh, no.
Or the other way around.
That's a weak spot. That's an insane weak spot for me, man. But
it was for me too. It was for me too.
I find myself, because of some of my issues in the past, man, I almost get manic wanting to put something out, and I have to learn to slow down.
Yeah.
I've been doing this 18 months, 19 months.
And
I've got almost 900 videos. So I need to slow down and and Joe and I talk about that, getting the quality up as much.
Yeah.
Well, the truth, Matthew, the truth is the truth, son.
I encourage everybody to do that. Like, if your channel, for whatever reason, I had somebody the other day that came to me and said, I've put out, because I think YouTube, they say, like, in order to get 1,000 subscribers, you have to put out blank amount of videos. And I had said that number, and the person said, that they had put out like 3 times as much. I said, well, if you're ever in that situation, then you have to look at what you're doing and assess it and figure out where your weak points are, so that you can make it better for the viewer,
Right.
And if the content's there, you can have the content and the quality of the content, but they have to be able to visually see it and hear it for it to become, good for them. I know a lot of people that they'll unsubscribe from a channel just because of sound.
Right.
And, and regardless of what it is, it could be from lip smacking to just not good quality to echoing, whatever.
Right.
It's not
even though
rockets.
the people are really good on the subject.
Right.
I noticed with JB, Jared, the other day, JB, your light went out and you mentioned it. And until you mentioned it, I was like, something's off, just to go to what you were saying, Jared, with the visual.
Yeah.
But it made me appreciate how well JB's setup is. Like the light went out and I'm going, okay, something's off. But when the light's on, and just to speak to that point, it does matter, because especially with you guys focusing on that knife, having that knife right there, if you can't see it, what the hell's the point of it?
Right.
And that was crazy, JB, because just the way, people don't realize the work that go into it. Now, I don't put a lot of work into it, But like with you guys getting your lighting right, getting the sound right, getting the things right, it's impressive. It really is.
But we've all seen it too, where people
being handsome.
But then there's
JB,
also
I'm reading 303, right?
Yeah.
303 is what you chose.
Yep.
So I'll put that on screen, and you guys can let me know who is the winner. So the number is 303.
but yeah, there's the channels out there too that are just so informative and have such good information, and they talk so well that it doesn't matter how crappy it looks, they will gain a massive amount of supporters because of the information.
Unless you get lucky enough to have one of your videos go viral.
That's how I got to where I'm at. I was lucky enough to have one of them, and it's the exact opposite of any video I wanted to go viral.
That's
like,
what
it just
happened.
happened to have been a video that I do not like.
There's a good guy on our community, Samurai Bird, love Bird. He's fantastic. His videos are great. He's a great cutter. He's fantastic. But he put out a video of this Nazi paratrooper knife. It was like a gravity knife. It was a video that wasn't even 2 minutes long. He did it on the front seat of his car as a joke. Just said, "Oh, a friend of mine gave me this. He wanted me to show it on the channel." This was only last month. 2.5 million views later. He went from 140 subs. He's currently almost 4,000 subs.
Nice.
This was last month because that
awesome.
one video went viral.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say he doesn't deserve it. He works hard, but it's just crazy how that works. You know,
it is. And that's what I've been focusing on lately is the algorithm, how to work the algorithm, how to work with YouTube in a way that I understand how their metric works in order to get subs. I definitely started doing that. And since I started doing that, because I didn't used to, and when I started doing that, within, I don't know, 2-3 months, the channel started growing exponentially.
All right, who's the winner, guys? I see Danimal. Is Danimal closest to 303? Danimal, you won again? You won it our last live.
No.
All right, we're gonna have to ban Danimal.
Cheating.
Cheating. I see Chris Wolf with 299.
Oh, shout out to Chris Wolf. Great dude.
I got Chris Wolf with 299.
All right, let me write Chris Wolf down.
Was this closest or closest without going over?
Nah, just closest. Whatever's closest to the number.
Oh, I see two. Yeah, I see 299.
If it's 299, that's probably the closest.
Yeah.
Josh Worth says he's seen that video of that Nazi knife, and he didn't know whose it was.
Bird.
That's Bird's, and it wasn't even his knife. Somebody just a friend of his gave it to him. I told him, I says the next thing you need to do, Bird. I says you need to go to this guy and you need to give him a nice big wet one right on the freaking all right, because that was some freaking loan you got there.
Yeah,
man.
I had somebody send me one, and they sent me a few knives, and they said on one specific one, they said I don't know the name of it. I accidentally bought it falling asleep. You know, like just one of those random Amazon purchases. You're falling asleep, you're actually pushing buttons. So he had no idea where it came from or anything. He just accidentally purchased it. And that was the video. And it's literally a knife I would never put on my channel otherwise. Right. And if for some reason it went viral, and and it's like the exact opposite. Like, it's like, please watch my other videos.
Yeah.
Don't watch that one.
Chris, congratulations, buddy. So I guess contact JB. Right?
Yeah, if you can't get a hold of JB, you can't get a hold of anybody.
Yeah.
I talk to Chris frequently.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah, Chris is awesome, dude.
Here's what I did. I followed up on Bird's review. He did like a Fallschirmjäger, the gravity knife. So I thought it would be a good idea to show my SA dagger. Yeah, he gets 2 million views. I get called a white supremacist. I'm like, okay, there we go. We take the hell out of that. I did find out. I do think it's real. So what I'm going to do is send it to New Orleans. A really nice guy on Facebook, which is kind of an oxymoron, but he's like, hey brother, if you send that to New Orleans, they'll validate it for you. and my grandfather was in World War II. And
Okay.
they'll put it on a disc. Now it didn't come from him. It was kind of a crazy. I worked in bars most of my life, and a guy that come up there and sat all the time. He was a historian, a collector. He brought me a box of stuff, and in it was this SA dagger. But he said, he goes, dude, listen, there's a ton of replicated stuff. I'm not even about to tell you it's real.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I'm gonna follow up on what Bird did. Now I also put Nazi in the title, which I probably shouldn't have done, but through doing that, people are like, no, brother, you got the maker's mark. I mean, it's the real deal, but
it looks legit.
It just goes to show you how it can get played one way or the other.
Oh, for sure. Well,
I mean, you can go from hero to goat quick.
Yeah. No, 100%. And
because there's a lot of collectors out there. I mean, we love our knives and we use it, but there's a lot of really real deal collectors out there that are looking for this stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely got to know how to tag your videos too. You got to know how to play YouTube's algorithm with tags and, your watch ratio, your click ratio with your, the way your thumbnails look, not clickbait, but bait enough to where they click on your video, because YouTube knows the algorithm on how many people seen your thumbnail versus how many clicked on it. Now, if you can get a high ratio number on that, like 10%, well, YouTube will show it to 1 million people. And then now you have the opportunity to go viral. So it's not the point of going viral. It's the point of getting the opportunity to go viral. So that's what you're trying to fight for, is that opportunity for YouTube to present you to go viral.
Or you just have a girl on your show doing hot yoga.
Yeah.
And that'll definitely get you 1 million views in about a month.
Yes.
I can tell you like this. My videos that Megan's in the thumbnails do way better.
Way better. Yeah.
Yes.
Every damn
same thing with me with Kara.
Like, really?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those
we
guys
ought to do a calendar, Brothers in the Blade calendar, Speedo edition.
I used Kara on a thumbnail, but then in the video, all you seen was her hands, right? And in the thumbnail, she had like the clip hanging off of her shorts, and you didn't see nothing, but you seen like her belt line and like her side, and everybody got on there, and it's like, you got me. It's like, good job on that one, because
how many views did that video get? I know it had a lot of views.
Oh, that one right there is the one that led to the one that went viral. That one's probably got like 100,000 or something right now. But then the next 4 videos after that, it was like the 4th one after that is the one that just went through the roof.
Later, jerk.
Because YouTube's seen that. They seen the progression of a video that did really good, and then the next one did really good, and it just played, it played to my favor for sure.
What I'm doing is I'm swamping the algorithm by putting about 10,000 videos. I've just got to where I'm just making them now to make them.
Well, just so you know, YouTube won't. They will not. So you can only do 3 a day, 2 to 3 a day. YouTube will only give what is it called, the bell notifications on 3 videos a day within 24 hours. So you have 3 videos to do, and YouTube won't put out notifications.
Interesting.
I rarely go over 2, but I mean, if you think about it, 18 months, 900 videos, but I just get in those modes, man, and it's
I get it.
And starting out for me, I don't know how it was. Well, I can tell you, I can only speak for me. Starting out, man, I was just getting clean. It was a way to fill up my time. It was a way, it was just messing around.
For sure.
And this community, and I'm being honest, this community just kind of welcomed me in, and then more people got, and I'm like, well, we got to get a little more serious with it. But
this community saves people's lives for sure.
Dude, big time.
I 100% agree and advocate for it, because I know what it's done for me. So,
no, absolutely, and I'm in that same.
We all have that backstory, because I've had that. I have that backstory too. I started it like during the pandemic, and it definitely saved me in a lot of ways. Just kind of focusing on this and nothing else.
You get guys like JB in that's just legit, And you get guys in like Casey and Jared, and you get guys in like that who legit care.
And you
And
get a brotherhood almost. You know, you feel that brotherhood of honest people that enjoy the same thing you do, and it is a great outlet. And you know, as much as we joke around with, you know, the addiction of knives, in my opinion, it's a very healthy hobby to get involved in. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Take a look at the back.
You
though.
need to get me one of those.
Read the back.
How do I get that one of those?
Can you read the back?
Go down.
That's a visual I never want to see again, Joe.
Can you see the back?
I can barely see the bottom of it. Oh, you're
What
there.
are you doing?
Right there. There we go.
He's dancing.
I don't need help. I just need more steel. How do I get one of those?
I got my swords. These are actually my sword. This is the preacher right here, and this is the power hammer Bowie.
Do you sell those on your channel?
Huh?
Do you sell those on your
I
channel?
don't know. I just got it in. I probably will. Yeah.
You should. You definitely should.
I probably will. Yeah.
I'll buy one right now.
Along with my hat.
Come on, Pete. Well, boys, Joe, we probably should bring this to a head.
All right.
JB's about to die. Man, I hope you feel better. Thank you so much.
JB,
for
yeah.
being
For
on
you to hang
here,
around
man.
this long.
You're a trooper.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
man, I appreciate y'all. Y'all, hey,
Still got a
you
voice.
two don't know what you mean to me for doing this.
Thank you.
No,
You guys
I
don't know what you
appreciate
mean to me. Hey,
A lot of
because
fun.
we're trying to do something different, and you know, this is a channel that's a talk show. So you guys don't know how much I appreciate you being willing to come on and do this.
Anytime.
really
And if you
appreciate it.
anytime, and if either one of you guys want to come on my live anytime, I'd love
Man,
to
I
have you
appreciate
guys.
that.
We can promote the channels, promote whatever you guys
That'd be
want to do, talk some knives, have a good time.
Appreciate
That'd
it,
be
brother.
awesome. Yeah, this was fantastic. We've been looking forward to this for a while. I also just want to tell everyone in the chat room, thank you for being there. I'm sorry we couldn't really visit. There's just a lot of things going on in the room. For all the winners, congratulations to all the winners. And to everyone else who submitted in your story behind the knife, I'm definitely going to get to it on the next live. And we'll definitely get to it little by little. And we actually had some more knives that we were going to give away from Jonathan from the shredder. So we're going to do that on the next live because, like I said, it's what we've been on for over 2 hours here already. So I think it's a little too long.
That's a
So
wicked
we'll definitely
kukri,
carry it
man.
along. There's your kukri.
Yeah,
Hold on.
well,
I never
listen.
showed you mine, Jared. Hold on.
Cue ball, man. Glad you were here.
If anybody wants to know, it's a Torah blades.
I never showed you mine.
Oh man, that's nice.
JB, what
That's
time
fine.
is your live, Bubba?
Holy cow! How many
Those
inches
are
is that
wicked.
one? That
I'm
blade?
gonna test.
This is about 12 inches, I believe.
Okay, yeah, mine's 11.
Oh, and there
and a half.
comes
Yeah,
JB
right there.
screaming in with one.
Oh man,
There you go.
Cooper
There you go.
Clan.
I
didn't
love
sound
that.
very
Just
good.
Listen,
that lip right there.
I can't
This
wait to
is
get
a
my hands
smoke
on
buster.
Joe's.
Yeah, I'm bringing this with me. You got to test
I
this.
cannot wait to do that.
You got to test this. Look at that sheet.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, this one's.
Hey, a good kukri.
What
I love
company is that one?
Hey, where did yours
This
come
is
from, Jared?
KHI Nepal. KHI.
Yeah,
the
you're
Kukri house.
KHI. Are you ex Gurkha Kukri House, Jared?
Excuse me.
Where'd that one come from?
Torah.
Torah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's authentic. Yeah.
No. I was just saying, I love that handle. I've got one reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
In a, I believe mine's 15-inch blade.
Mm-hmm.
JB, where's yours from?
It is honestly, it's some little off-brand. I don't even remember, but I just got it here, and you guys were pulling out your cookery, so I'm like, oh, I can have one.
The one time I'm not at my house, I got my pocket kukri, and that's about
There
all.
you go. I seen you whip it out. I said, "All right, man, I got to join them." Because I seen you in the background. You go, bam.
This was like my first cold steel, and I got it because everybody, you'll never carry it, dude. This thing goes with me everywhere.
You carry it just out of spite because everybody said you
Yeah.
wouldn't
Oh
carry
yeah.
it.
Yeah. I've got two of them. I will do some stuff out of spite. They call me Scab Petty. Guys, I love y'all, and I'll talk to a while. Joseph, lead us out, my brother.
All right. So again, Jared, sincerely, thank you. JB, thank you for being here. This was fantastic. It was a great show. Really enjoyed having you guys on. everyone in the chat room. Appreciate you guys all being here. And again, congratulations to the winners. And please check out our next live. We got a lot of knives that we're going to be pushing over to give away on the next one. So we're definitely going to try to address that, carry on the story tonight. Whoever gave me submissions, I didn't forget about you guys. I'm definitely going to get into you guys. But thanks guys for being here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm sure I catch you on your lives. JB, I don't know if you're doing one. I don't know if you can show up to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do my.
You gonna try?
Do
All
it
right.
tonight. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you doing? Yeah, you'll do that late at night. Yeah, I'll
So
try to
both
catch
you guys
that.
are going to be on tonight. Jared, you
My live starts at 7:30 p.m. Central Time.
Okay,
rocking out. JB,
gotcha.
10 Pacific. 10 p.m. Pacific.
Perfect. All right, guys, be there. And if for any stupid reason anyone in the chat room is not subscribed to Neve's Knives or Big Ready DC, go in and just subscribe to them because you're doing something wrong if you're not. But I'm sure you guys all are. But thank you guys. Thanks everyone. I appreciate it. Until the next live, guys, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I'll close it off. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
good night.
Take it easy, guys.